Hello and welcome to Calmvestor podcast. I am Ethan. Join me on this journey to build solid financial thinking and take control of your financial future. We often make financial decisions based on emotions and mental shortcuts without even realizing it. This can lead to unnecessary regrets down the line. Have you ever found yourself in such a situation? I remember a time I bought a stock that was all the rage. Everyone was talking about it. My friends were buying it. I jumped in without much research only to see its value plummet. It was a hard lesson. It might surprise you, but research suggests a significant percentage of individual investors lose money due to impulsive decisions. It's a common pitfall, but one we can learn to avoid. Have you ever wondered why you bought that particular stock when its price was sky high, or why you sold a good investment too early? These are questions many of us ask ourselves. As Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman said, we often believe we make decisions rationally, but in reality, we are frequently influenced by invisible biases. This insight is crucial for our financial well-being. Consider someone buying a house because of social pressure or the fear of missing out, FOMO. If they don't carefully assess their finances, they might end up with a heavy burden of debt. This is a classic example of emotional decision-making. So how can we navigate these challenges? Today, I want to introduce a powerful tool, the decision journal. It helps us understand our financial decision-making process and recognize those cognitive biases Kahneman talked about. The decision journal is simply a detailed record of your important financial decisions. You note the reasons, the context, your emotions at the time, your expectations, and eventually the outcome. Daniel Kahneman, along with Amos Tversky, pioneered research in behavioral finance. They showed that humans are not always rational economic beings. Our thinking is often split into two systems. System 1 is fast, intuitive, and emotional, while System 2 is slower, more deliberate, and logical. The decision journal helps us engage System 2 more effectively in our financial lives. The key benefits of using a decision journal are increased self-awareness, the ability to learn from your mistakes, and ultimately making better decisions in the future. It's a game changer for personal finance and investing. Warren Buffett once said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing." A decision journal helps you understand exactly what you are doing and why. It's like how professional athletes review game tapes to improve their performance. The main challenge we face is that we are often victims of cognitive biases when making financial decisions. These mental shortcuts can lead to undesirable outcomes, and they are hard to spot without a system. Let's look at a few common biases. Confirmation bias is seeking information that supports our existing beliefs, ignoring contradictory evidence. This can be very dangerous in investing. Then there's FOMO, the fear of missing out. This is when we make decisions based on the excitement of the crowd, often leading to buying high. Overconfidence bias is another tricky one. We might overestimate our knowledge or ability, leading us to take on more risk than we should. Kahneman's research highlighted how prevalent this is. Loss aversion is a powerful bias. Kahneman and Tversky found that the pain of a loss is about 2 to 2.5 times stronger than the pleasure of an equivalent gain. This makes us hold on to losing investments for too long. As Kahneman put it, a dollar lost will cause about 2.5 times more pain than a dollar gained will bring pleasure. This explains why cutting losses can be so emotionally difficult. Lastly, anchoring bias is when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information offered, like the initial purchase price of a stock, even if it's no longer relevant. Consequences of these biases are clear: buying at the peak, selling at the bottom, investing based on emotions, missing good opportunities, or taking unnecessary risks. It's hard to see these patterns in ourselves without tracking. Imagine investor A holding onto a stock that's losing heavily, hoping it will recover. They might be anchored to the purchase price and afraid to realize the loss, even if all signs point to selling. So what's the root cause of these biases? They often stem from how our brains are designed to make quick decisions, frequently bypassing deep, logical analysis. This is where Kahneman's System 1 and System 2 come in. System 1 thinking is fast, automatic, and emotional. System 2 is slow, logical, and analytical. Most of our daily decisions, including many financial ones, are dominated by System 1 because it conserves mental energy. Kahneman stated, System 1 operates automatically and quickly, with little or no effort and no sense of voluntary control. Biases are often the byproducts of these System 1 mental shortcuts. Shortcuts help us process information rapidly, but they can sometimes lead to errors, especially in complex areas like finance. Time pressure, information overload, and strong emotions like greed or fear amplify these biases. Think about a volatile market. The feeling of panic, a System 1 reaction, might cause you to sell off stocks without the thorough analysis that System 2 would provide. The good news is, we have a practical solution, the decision journal. It helps us activate System 2, allowing us to identify and minimize the impact of these biases. Let's talk about how to set up and maintain your decision journal. First, what should you record? Include the date of the decision and what the specific decision is. For example, buying 100 shares of company X at price Y. Also note your main reasons for the decision, covering your analysis, emotions, and information sources. What were your expectations for the outcome, like your target profit or time frame? Crucially, record your emotions at the time. Were you excited, anxious, fearful, confident? Also, list the factors and information you considered and perhaps even those you consciously ignored. When should you write in your journal? Ideally, before or immediately after making any significant financial decision. For tools, you can use a physical notebook, an Excel spreadsheet, or a note-taking app. Consistency is the most important thing. Now, how do you analyze your journal to identify biases? Review it periodically, maybe weekly, monthly, or after a decision plays out. Compare the actual results with your initial expectations. What happened? Was it as you predicted? Look for patterns in your decision-making. Do you often buy when the market is euphoric and sell when it's panicking, indicating herd mentality or FOMO? This is a common trap. Do you tend to overlook negative signs for an investment you love? That could be confirmation bias. Do you hold on to losses too long, hoping to break even? That's loss aversion at play. Are you overly confident after a few small successes, leading to bigger, hastier decisions? Ask yourself, was I driven by emotion? Did I have enough information? Which biases might have influenced me? Finally, how do you use the journal to improve future decisions? Every decision, whether a success or a failure, is a learning opportunity. Write down the lessons you have learned. Adjust your decision-making process. For instance, if you notice a tendency for FOMO, you might set a rule to wait 24 hours before buying into a trending asset. This pause allows System 2 to engage. The act of writing and analyzing forces you to slow down and think more logically, strengthening System 2. You can even build a checklist based on common errors, questions to answer before any big financial move. Jim Rohn wisely said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Your decision journal helps you become better at making financial decisions. For example, after reviewing their journal, someone might realize they often invest in companies heavily mentioned on social media without deep research. They could then set a new rule. Always read financial reports and do fundamental analysis before investing, no matter how hot the stock is. So I encourage you to start your journey of self-discovery and improve your financial decisions today with a decision journal. It truly is an investment in yourself, one of the best you can make. This is a continuous process, not an instant fix, but the results it can bring over time are incredibly worthwhile, leading to greater financial clarity and confidence. You can begin with small decisions. It doesn't need to be complicated. The key is to start and be consistent. Understanding yourself and your decisions is a solid foundation for building financial freedom. Anthony Robbins said, "It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped." The financial decisions you make today will indeed shape your financial future. A journal helps you shape them wisely. Imagine looking back at your journal after a year. You might be surprised at your progress, not just in financial outcomes, but in your understanding and control over your own decision-making processes. So here is a gentle call to action. Try to record your first important financial decision in your new journal this week. It does not need to be perfect, just get started. What do you think? Or perhaps, after listening to this, you have already recognized a bias that often affects your choices. Feel free to reflect on that. Awareness is the first step to change. Thanks for listening. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next episode. Have an amazing day filled with positive energy.